Whoa, legendary!
Welcome to another video, guys. I'm Crystal5 and today I'll give you 5 Hearthstone tips to get Legend. Hitting Legend for the first time is quite the achievement, and to some of you it might even sound impossible. But with this video you should get a better idea of the things you need to be doing in order to get closer to your ultimate goal. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe if you found this video helpful, and a like would be great as well. I will give you a short summary in the end of this video of what a try-hard game looks like for me and how I try to tilt the scales in my favor. Now let's get you to Legend. You have to understand that it will take you time to make the leap from rank 5 to Legend. Everybody learns and plays at a different pace, and it comes down to how seriously you're playing the game too. For me, it took only 3 months from starting the game to hit rank 5 for the first time, and I never finished the season above rank 5 after that. It took me almost a year to hit rank 2 for the first time after that, and about 4 more months to hit Legend for the first time after that. Ever since I hit Legend for the first time back in March 2018, I have been constantly hitting it month after month. When I look back, I think there was one main reason I didn't achieve this a lot sooner, and do you know what that is? Ladder anxiety. Back then, there were no safety nets, and you could fall below rank 5 if you lost games. For me, that was my main goal for a long time, and it took me too long to set my goal higher and actually try to achieve it. I know it looks scary, and it's even scarier when you start losing, but you have to realize nobody cares if you're rank 3 or 4 or even 5. Just keep on pushing and improve your gameplay. The first time for me it took something around 200 ranked games to achieve, and there were quite a lot of ups and downs. When I encountered my first final boss, I even fell all the way back to rank 3, and that was quite heartbreaking, but I didn't give up and I managed to make the final push on the very next day. You just have to believe in yourself and put in enough time. It really comes down to the number of games and your win rate. As long as you're above 50, but more realistically above 55%, you should be able to do it, so just keep on pushing. Just to put it in perspective, my first Legend climb took over 200 games, my second took 70, and my third took about 30, so getting the confidence that you've hit Legend once will really boost your results after that. Another reason why you could be advancing slower is not playing a good deck that is fit for you. You have to choose 1 or max 2 decks that are good for you and learn them really well. You have to know what your role is in each matchup, you have to mulligan accordingly with and without the coin, and really learn the limits and possibilities of your decks. I've started uploading deck guides with very detailed mulligan guides and strategies on my channel, so you might want to check those out when I have a new one for you. A really good way for you to learn a deck is to watch game replays of pros who take the time to explain their thought process for each play and their overall game plan for each matchup. HS Replay is a really good source for that, since you can just pick a deck archetype you're playing and go to their VOD section where you can find all the matchups and how the pros manage to win those. It takes some time, but it will really help you in the long run, and you can even write down the general tips the pros give you and have them by your side the next time you're playing a hard matchup. Also, don't get mad if you pick up a new deck and you start losing. Your main goal is to learn the deck first and climb ranks second. If you get into a losing streak, don't just throw the deck in the garbage and switch to something else. Try and figure out if you're doing something wrong with the deck or if the meta just shifted against you. Switching decks too much is never a good idea, but if the meta really shifted against your deck, it might be time to try and put some tech cards against those bad matchups, or you might want to switch over to another good deck you feel comfortable with. Speaking of meta shifts, it's really important for you to learn the meta if you really want to climb. Knowing what you're playing against is half the battle won, and if climbing is your goal, then this would be a must for you. There are a lot of good resources for meta reports, but the best ones for me would be Vicious Syndicate and HS Replay. If you want to get a decent meta report for free, then Vicious Syndicate is your go-to site. It will show you the best meta decks, the class frequencies, the class archetype distribution, the matchup win rates, and pretty much anything you would need to get a good idea of the meta at the different ranks. It's a really good starting point for you, and you can get a pretty good idea of what you need to be expecting on ladder. I did use that for quite a while, but half a year ago I decided I want to take it up to the next level, and I started purchasing the HS Replay Premium, and for me it's really worth it. Everything is just way more detailed, and you can even learn your mulligans better because it gives you win percentages when you keep a certain card, so it's quite useful. If you would also like to check out what the HS Replay Premium feels like and support me a little in the process, you can use my referral code in the description below. Anyway, in the end, just pick the meta report that suits you better. Just take your time and prepare for what you will be facing on your road to Legend. Also, knowing what to mulligan against each class, with and without the coin, is pretty important, and you will get a pretty good idea idea for that if you have the premium HS replay, but if you don't wish to spend money, you can check out the Tempo Storm mulligan guides for each matchup too. I don't trust their meta reports anymore, but their mulligan guides are not bad, so you might want to check those out. Another thing you should learn is when you should play to win and stop playing not to lose. Generally, control decks can afford to play not to lose, because they just need to reach the late game and wear their opponents off. But with most other decks, there comes a time where you should just go all in, even though you know there are a few cards in your opponent's deck that can destroy you. You can't afford to play around everything your opponents might have, so if you feel like the game is slipping, it's probably a good idea to take the risk and just go all in for the win. After all, it doesn't matter how many turns you've lasted against your opponent. The important thing in each matchup is what gives you the biggest chance to get that W instead of the L. This brings me to the last tip we will talk about in this video. Learn from your mistakes and ignore the games where you couldn't have done anything. You have to be able to pinpoint the moments where you could have done things better, where you missed something you shouldn't have, when you took a risk you didn't need to, and so on. You have to be able to critique your own mistakes and not just blame it all on the RNG and the luck. Yeah, Hearthstone is definitely a luck-based game, but it's the way you manage that luck and RNG that makes you a better Hearthstone player. I know there will be a lot of times where you will have just the worst game, getting an awful mulligan against a guy who seems to have the perfect draw against you, and that's okay. It's up to you to stay cool after games like that and just accept that
these things happen.
So these are the tips. Now let me tell you what I look like when I'm really tryharding to hit that legend. Before I get into the game, I put on some music I enjoy, because apparently that helps me, but decide for yourself if that would be helpful for you or it would just distract you. It goes without saying that I am super concentrated and I have my deck tracker fired up with all of its features turned on. I have the meta report with the mulligan guide open from HS Replay, and I have Tempo Storm's mulligan guide next to it as well. I have my Word file with the general tips I've gathered from watching pros pilot the deck too, in case I haven't memorized that myself already. When I get an opponent, I open the most plausible deck archetype that he might be playing, and I pay close attention to the number of cards he keeps, so I know if he had a good mulligan or a random one. If there is a 0 on his cards, that means he kept that card in his mulligan, and it's probably something useful against my class. I don't really watch my replays to see where I've done mistakes, but I do try to notice them during the game. Other than that, it's just rinse and repeat, till you reach your final goal. Cheeky! Nah. Get fucked. Nice. I think that's worth. I guess that's about it for this video, guys. I hope this helps you hit that legend. It really does become easier once you've done it once, so keep on pushing and don't give up. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris05, and I'll see you in my next video.